Alright, what's up guys, it's your boy DyloPillow back with another album review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new J. Cole album, The Off Season. This was J. Cole's first album since 2018 with KOD. He did appear on Revenge of the Dreamers, so we have had some verses from him and he's had a few feature appearances, but it's been a little while since we got a full Cole project. He teased the fall off throughout 2020. He at one point promised that it would be released in 2020, but eventually that was not the case, and then around I think December 2020 he posted a picture on his Instagram with a list that goes the off season, It's a Boy, and then the fall off. So seems like there's going to be a little trilogy here to wrap up his career, and we started that off with the off season. We get started with the first track, 95 South, with this Cameron intro, this old school type of feel to this track. He's calling out the new school rappers, their deluxe albums, how they're doing a measly 100K, which J. Cole is absolutely going to do more than first week. We can already project that. He makes it clear on this track he's ready to go. He's ready to rap. He has this mixtape Cole kind of energy to him, and that's exactly what we got from this. It felt like a mixtape Cole kind of project. One of the lines on this track that really stood out to me was bullets humming like Cuddy. Very simple line, but I like it for a couple different aspects. I mean, Cuddy always hums, right? But he also had Speeding Bullet to Heaven, so it's like just a little nice little double meaning there. The track Amari is kind of a sing-rapping track. Interesting approach for Cole. Didn't really get a ton of lyrical content out of this one. Just all right. My Life is another collaboration between J. Cole and 21 Savage. Very similar to the track a lot, but this is definitely a worse version in my opinion. 21 and J. Cole are below their performances on the track a lot. But the addition of Moray is really good. That he had an amazing hook to the track. It was beautiful. But one of the problems I had with this track was J. Cole was like yelling in his verse. He was going insane. But then Moray cuts into this beautiful hook. And this beat is so soft, and I'm just kind of confused as to why J. Cole was going so crazy over that. And his mix was super high too on his vocals. I feel like 21 Savage did a better job of like matching Moray's energy and as well as the beat's energy, but then he adds the chicken breast line at the end. Like, what was that? I mean, the track was alright, but like there's definitely some flaws. The track Applying Pressure kind of has a weird beat to me. I was not a fan of this instrumental. And J. Cole basically just talks about how he's rich and other people are not. That's really all I took away from this one. Not a lot of there. And the outro to the track was really long. I don't know why it was so long, because I think he got the point across pretty quickly in this track. So wasn't really a fan of that one. The track Punching the Clock, J. Cole starts off with the line, got more cribs than Habitat for Humanity. One, that's just not true. And two, I don't really even get the point of that line. That's such a weird comparison to make and super random. I didn't really like enjoy that bar. I thought his rhyme scheme and flow on this track was solid, but it was very short and didn't really leave a major impact. The track 100 Mil, J. Cole throws on some auto-tune. He drops a bar about how his wife wouldn't leave him for Michael B. Jordan. Congrats that your wife is loyal. I think you would have already known that by now. It just seems like such a weird bar to throw in here. He's again speaking on the fact that he is rich and he's also still grinding. Then the Canticide beat starts playing on the track Pride is the Devil, which I didn't expect to hear anything like that, but it was kind of very similar to the Canticide beat from Amine's Limbo. And J. Cole did pretty well on this. I actually enjoyed his verse quite a bit. I think it's a good topic to talk about how pride can get in the way of things sometimes. I've not heard many people talk about it enough, and he did a good job of going into it. But one thing I thought was really odd about this track was how after the hook, J. Cole started rapping in this flow and then kind of like led Lil Baby into his verse. And it was almost like he was putting him on training wheels and like helping him learn how to ride a bike or something. And it's not like Lil Baby's verse was bad. It was just like, it was pretty good. It was all right. But it's like, why did it start like that? I've never heard anything like that. So this track was pretty good, but it just felt a little bit weird. And like the Canticide beat was done better by Amine, in my opinion. And that's not something you ever really want to do, is use a beat and do it not as well. Then we go into the track Let Go My Hand, and I started floating on this instrumental. This is easily my favorite instrumental on the project. Like, so much better than the rest of them. I'm shocked at how good this was. It was incredible. J. Cole has a great presence on this track as well, talking about some nice topics about taking your time and taking some time for exploration in life, and that's also not something I hear talked about enough. So I liked that a part a lot. Unfortunately, this track kind of ran out of steam. We didn't really get any J. Cole in the second half of the track, just a couple of like backing vocals almost. I think Boz kind of took control on that part. And then the outro is extremely long on this track, and I'm not really sure why. They didn't really add anything. Interlude is a solid track. It released as a single, and yeah, his voice is powerful on this. It's a nice soul beat. His flows are good. He's talking about reminiscing on the struggle again, how it's a cold world now, and I thought it was straight and to the point. I thought it was pretty well done. The Climb Back is one of the best tracks. It's very well structured and very dense lyrically. Although it is the longest track, I thought it had a good length. It made sense to do it that much, talking about how too many black lives have been lost, but also reminiscing on how he made it out. He's good to go now. But he still has to kind of live for those people and help those people as much as he can. Thought the outro was a good length on this. This was one that made a lot more sense to me in terms of that. One subtle line that stood out to me on this track was see how I flipped like exclamation points, and that's kind of an interesting line because like literally an I upside down is an exclamation point. I think that's all he really meant, but kind of in a different way as well. So that's kind of a nice double meaning. I thought it was cool. Close is, in my opinion, by far the best track. J. Cole's presence on this is incredible. His voice is so powerful. He tells the story of drifting apart from a friend who this friend also eventually dies at the end of the story, but he does so by telling this story with a rhyme scheme, with every word rhyming with close. And that was phenomenal to me. Like, he told some stories on this album, but the fact that he made it so entertaining with this one, and I was just captured by every word he was saying, it was so good. The closing track, Hunger on Hillside, has J. Cole talking about how he still has this hunger to rap. It's done over a beautiful beat. Boz adds some beauty to the track as well. Cole sounds very triumphant on the first half of the track, and then in the second half he's sort of reminiscing some. It has a lengthy outro as well to kind of wrap up the project. So this project had a pretty wide range of ideas. On the production side, there was a lot of variety there. And that's something I think was a little too open-ended almost, because like there was never really a consistent thing going with the production. It was always just kind of this beat, then this beat, we'll throw in this one, and it's just like I would have liked to see a little bit more consistency there in terms of a sound, but some of the beats weren't that good even, and some of them were pretty great. The lyricism is consistently pretty good, but it's not like great in my opinion. It's not like this crazy lyrical performance or anything like that. I think he's definitely done better in the past. I think it's been a little bit blown out of proportion just because we haven't heard from him in a while, and he was pretty straightforward that he was just rapping on this one instead of like making like a crazy song structure. So maybe that's why it seems like that, but I still think he's performed better lyrically. I really think the most important part of this project was just his deliveries, flows, and rhyme schemes. That's what really captured people's attentions. And I would also say those weren't necessarily his best, but his voice was very powerful on this and definitely captured your attention. There's only really a few great tracks in my opinion. It's not like this amazing, like every track is super good. I thought Close was really good, like I said. Let Go My Hand, Hunger on Hillside were also really solid. But the problem for me really was like some tracks were like mixtape Cole, like here's a beat, I'm gonna rap for like 2 minutes and then we're gonna call it a day. And then some of them were like they were attempting to be structured and have like a hook and like have like this crazy outro and stuff like that. So that part was really inconsistent to me. I don't know how I feel about that, because I would look for something more consistent in that aspect, especially like song structure was a bigger issue here for me, because it's not like any song structure was that bad. It was just like it could have been anything. You never knew what you're going to get. Some of the stories he told on this album were very literal. Like I would have been more entertained if he had told them a little bit more creatively, like he did on the track Close. And yeah, that's something he's definitely done better in the past. His storytelling has been at a higher level, and this wasn't maybe his best performance in that aspect because he was just more about the rapping. But I hope he steps it up for the next album. And I know this project is kind of just like part of a lead up to the fall off, and it's just like kind of restarting this energy, getting this mixtape Cole back. But in reality, I don't think this project on its own is that great. Like I'm still really looking forward to the fall off. But at this point, like, I wasn't a huge fan of this. It's really nice to have J. Cole back because, like, we haven't had a voice like that active in a little while since COVID. But I just don't think this is his best. I'm still looking forward, like I said, to what he does, but it's just not his best. And I don't really feel particularly drawn back to this project like I have in the past with J. Cole projects. There's a few good songs, but as a whole, I wouldn't really want to go out of my way to listen to, like, 40 minutes of this. There's definitely some misses in there for me, so yeah, I'm going to give this album a 6. Really not J. Cole's best performance, or really not the best album of this year by any means at all. And I'll still be looking forward to what he does next. I mean, he got my attention with some tracks, but for the most part, like, just not a great project in my opinion. Still decent though. Let me know what you guys thought of this project in the comments. I'm sure plenty of you are going to disagree with me, even though this is a positive score. It's just really, I didn't love this project. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys rate it, what you think of it. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Able on the beat.